Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic, Non-Classic. This episode number 1920 and Doubleshot number 1814. It's Morphin time! It's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Volume 5, collecting issues 17 to 20 of the series. Yep. These issues here are basically, I don't think these, now, mostly put what happens in these issues, mostly it's, well, this woman named Grace who gets involved with the Rangers. Yeah. Where more stuff with Rita and more, like, battling monsters in various other cities across the world. And, of course, Zorda is missing. You have Zaba there. Yeah, the talking floating sword from another dimension. Who, by the way, in the Prime Universe, they've never actually met him yet. And of course, you have Jason just scanning the Rita's palace. By the way, this is something they actually kept in Power Rangers from the Zoo Ranger footage. Look closely at the palace itself. It says Bador's Palace. Yeah, that's actually from the Zoo Ranger footage. For some reason, they probably were thinking this, or looking at this, like, why the heck would the place called Bador's Place, even though the woman's name is Rita? It's from the translated footage, so I'm not going to blame the comic for that. That's basically the TV show's fault for not changing it. Then we come to the Angel Grove Youth Center. Yep, where you see Tommy just lifting weights. Now, that's a bit unusual. Tommy lifting weights. Usually he just doing martial arts, not usually lifting weights. That's not usually him. You have Kimberly doing his own thing, and then they were doing various other things, and just do heroic stuff here. And this will meet Grace for the first time. Yep, this will be Grace. And, of course, talk about her group that she formed, Primidia. And then apparently, like, they go on a mission to deal with, well, apparently they run into Finster in, like, Europe. Yes, Finster in Europe for some reason. Yes, deal with monsters they have, and plus we even have appearance by the main weapon that they use in the series. I don't remember the name of this one. It's just basically a combination of all the weapons combined into one this big, huge weapon. So, battling the monster, and of course, Finster is basically taken hostage. And apparently, it's real. Apparently, this is one of 14. Of course, they thank for what they did. And, well, they're not going to work with the government, and work with civilians. And then, of course, everything is basically dealing with, like, so trying to figure out what's Zordon. And then, of course, a red alert happens in various other places. And they have to go out and basically help save the world once again. They have to deal with more monsters. This is standard Ranger stuff here. Yeah, and then, of course, Spencer just happens. And you hear another alarm. And this is basically nearby. And we see that Grace has shown up. We don't have time for this. Open up. And they teleport outside. What happened today? We're out of time. I need to talk to Zordon. How'd you know we're here? Hello, Grace. Alpha, it's been a while. It has. To answer your question, I know about Zordon for a very simple reason. You only need to listen to me. Why is that? I was his Red Ranger. And you're thinking, what the heck? Yeah, issue 20 basically begins a story arc where it takes place in 1969, right after the moon landing. And we see apparently that one small step for man, one small leap for mankind. And nearby in the crater we see Psycho Green. You're thinking, Psycho Green? What the heck? I thought basically there was only like red, blue, yellow, pink, and black. Why the heck is there green? This was completely made for the comic and never show up in the show at all. Not even in Mega Ranger. So, but yeah, people getting transported using Nasada briefly. Yes, Nasada. And apparently we have... Now, basically, this is the original version of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers from 1969. What the heck? It's a baseball thing. Yeah. Meanwhile, though, we have various people being abducted by Zordon in the 60s, and they're at the. So we have a Russian. We have various people here from Costa Rica International, and the whole purpose is basically like mention something with Repulsa, and she's on the moon, and we see appearance by a submarine apparently threatening Earth. So they're all given basically, they're all morphed. And well, this is your lineup for you. We have a female Red Ranger. We have the Pink Ranger, a guy. We have the Yellow Ranger be a guy. I think the Black Ranger is a woman, and the Blue Ranger is a woman. And you're probably thinking, yeah, so there's like a Russian, Norwegian. So they'll teleport the moon, and look at by sheer coincidence, there's the dumpster where Rita's trapped in. Now, they look at the damn thing, but they don't even think to it at all. I think Kyle Higgins basically was knowing that he probably knows the continuity. He probably knows that Rita did not get woken up in the 60s. That just basically do a Psycho Green, have it there as an Easter egg. So it's in the distance. It's not really affecting anything at all. Rita's inside that damn thing, but not going to do anything with it at all. And of course, they have to deal with Psycho Pink. Yep. And, well, then we have Yellow and Pink just arguing. Yes, arguing. You have Grace just looking at the damn thing. Look at the dumpster. And, well, and of course, then Psycho Green basically pops up. Yep. And, well, and of course, they form a little weapon. And eventually, Psycho Green is destroyed. Actually, he forms like a monster form. And then, for some weird reason, we have it where Grace, the Blue and Yellow Ranger, go to, of all places, Rita's palace. Though, as for why the heck it's there, it could be anybody's guess. That's no use. And they fire a cannon right at. They jump up and fire it right at. And of course, the Blue Ranger jumps up. He gets killed. And of course, basically, Psycho Green himself is essentially destroyed. Yep, and only Red and Yellow survive. And of course, take away the powers because they're no longer needed. And of course, they go separate ways. And then apparently, for some reason, Grace decided to keep the dagger of Psycho Green. And that was issue 20. Yeah, we have this thing on the covers. We have Scorpina pop up here, but she's not in the issues. No, for some reason it's not. And then we have a backup feature, the first half of the stuff with Squat and Babu. Just having fun. Battling, doing various things. And that's it for this one for you. Yeah. Mighty Power Rangers Volume 5, really good. I give the book give it a 10 out of 10. Just really good. Next up, we have the spin-off series, which this one, like Mighty Power Rangers, is not technically published anymore. Mighty Morphin at the issue 50 was relaunched simply as Mighty Morphin. And we have Saban's Goku Power Rangers, though after issue, I think it was like 30, I think it was. Now, Mighty Power Rangers was written by Kyle Higgins up until Shattered Grid. He left the book after that. This book is done by Ryan Parrott. He did most of the series up until the very end. This book here collects the first, I think it's like first 4 issues, I believe, of the series. Let me check here. Let's see. Yeah, it was the first 4 issues. And simply put, basically, this is what the... Now, unlike in the case of My Power Ranger that picked up where Green and Evil left off, this picked up right after episode 1, Day of the Dumpster. Or after they dealt with Godar in the first episode. They were just sitting on top of the Dragon Zord, the Dragon Megazord. You have Jason training like 3 months for a Rebel Day. And of course, everybody's like, you basically have a meeting with everybody. And what happened with the astronauts? Yes, the astronauts who disappeared after, like, what happened. Apparently, they're basically held captive by Rita Repulsa. So yeah, and of course, there's the military involved. Yes, the military. Something that very rarely happened in the show. And of course, you have Kimberly being brought along, of course, all the Rangers. So they figure out what happened with the astronauts. They morph and they go straight to Rhea's palace. Which I should point out, the TV show, in the first season, they never ever went here. In Zoo Range, they did. But in Mighty Morphin, nope. They never did. They never went to the palace. And of course, they just happen to run into the Putty Patrol. And they go to the front door, battle Goldar again. And then they finally meet Rita Repulsa in person for the first time. It's like, hello, welcome to my home. I've been watching your little rescue mission. More importantly, I've been listening. What'd you call him, Jason? He and I have already met. If we heard correctly, your names are Kimberly, Trini, and Zach, and the last one is Billy. I want to have all your proper introduction to my palace. Lead me to you. My name is Rita Repulsa, and you have made a terrible mistake. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, a lot of the covers for Go-Go Power Rangers are based upon old posters from the 80s and 90s. Now, this one, I'm not really sure what this one's based on. This is the cover for issue 2. I don't know what this one's based on. There's some I can tell. This one I can't really tell at all. And of course, we have more stuff in the past before they eventually did a dumpster. And of course, they try to rescue. And then they get teleported back. And then Alpha Ranger, I don't know what happened. We must have sourced some dark magic into protecting the palace. If you have a signal, sorry. Alpha, it's fine. Male alive. Zordon, the astronauts, are right? Yes. Once they were free of Rhea's palace, Alpha or tell them directly in Nasada. I'm sure good hand. Mission was a success. Not entirely. We made a big mistake. Rhea knows our names. Not exactly who we are, but unfortunate, but was done and done. So basically, he is accepting the fact that, well, they broke into her palace to get the astronauts, and they get them out, no problem. And the fact of their names, it's fine. So we have Zach and Jace talk outside. You have Trini talk to her mom, and I think she's pregnant. Of course, she's not. Yeah, and then we have apparently Bulk and Skull appearing here. Where they're trying to intimidate Jason. Doesn't work. Yeah, and then of course Kim is dating somebody else before she met Tommy. Yeah, of course, like, everything's their apologies basically for what happened. No, not really. And then, of course, we have Trini and Jason just decided to morph just so they could beat the crap out of each other, basically for sparring practice. Now, you might be thinking, is there a romance tease between them? Not really, no. They're just really good friends. You have Zach basically not just wondering about the command center. Yes, Billy basically, actually, the command center is basically Billy's place. And apparently he's trying to develop, well, the risk communicators. Because it's mentioned in the comic that apparently Jason's got a space phone. Yes. It's like an early version of like a cell phone. And of course, yeah. So apparently, I know everybody liked him very much. Apparently, had no problem with it later on. Yeah, so then we have this weird creature pop up here. Now this one I believe is based upon Ghost, maybe, with Patrick Swayze. Actually, no. The way that Tree is holding her dagger here, it's actually based upon the Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie poster. Yep. Because, the show came out in the 90s, so basically it spoofed 90s posters. Though there is one poster and appears, one cover, it actually spoofs Back to the Future. I'll get to that. So, we have more stuff here, and of course, betting on the whole fake Yellow Ranger thing. Ranger Day, and of course, where everyone's like, come back to Rhea's palace. Which, I should point out that for some reason, they have it where you have Rita, where she sits in a chair that was later set upon by Zed when he came on board. Yeah, my guess was happily your palace. Yeah, and then of course you have more sparring between Trini and Jason, which looks like, oh, maybe they're gonna kiss them with their helmets. Nope, not really. And of course you have football practice, karate practice, normal stuff here. I'm glad the fact that the artists who draw this basically remembered what the used to look like in the 90s, despite the fact this is mostly reboot like in modern days, because some of these people got cell phones. Yep. Yeah, Chaplin. Yes, Principal Chaplin. And of course, there's a fight, and oh, look, a pretty woman. Buddies show up, and of course, by the way they show Angel Goldie looks slightly different in the show. Yes, monster attack, which is, of course, then we have this one here. This one here. Unlike the last one, which is basically by Vampire Slayer. This one, I'm not really sure. Yeah, listen to the comments below. Basically, what these are covers. Basically, the only I know so far is Buffy. Yep, Buffy and like one back feature. We're good to that. They have more fighting here. Fight. Just more building up here. Yeah. And we have apparently a detailed sequence of the morphing thing when they transform. Well, it looks like though that the Zords are like taken apart and then basically reassembled in order to form the Megazord, which is interesting. Really cool sequence. I got to hand it to the artist who works for Ampera on this one. And they battle the monster and he's defeated. And of course, Trini gives her mother a rock. And of course, then we have a conversation between Zack and Zordon, where he's basically, yeah, like when he says that I do. Why wasn't I chosen? I love Jason too, I do, but back on the moon when he was looking for Rita, I found mystery astronauts, and yesterday when he got himself in trouble, I led the team against Flog. Am I good enough against what's the deal? Zack, I may be violating trust by telling you this, but I believe your actions have earned it. Jason was selected as the leader of the Rangers because he was once like Rita, someone he used to use their power to take what they wanted. But he saw this error of his ways. It were make amends. He would have, before he would die before he allowed another Ranger going down that path. Alpha used specific tactics to choose Rangers. 5 young brave women who seek vulnerable when they're apart. Together, their loyalties for one another makes them nearly unstoppable. Remember, just because you are on front line doesn't make you less valuable. A good team is filled with Rangers ready to step in when needed. Think what happens. And you have Kim's boyfriend who doesn't appear in the show. And then we have it where or apparently her real boyfriend is being kept captive by Rita at the end of issue 4. Yep. And then we have basically a variant, homage to Back to the Future. Yep. This is a thank you variant. Not sure this one is. Yeah, really good stuff here. Love it. I'm going to give Saban's Go Power Rangers also a 9 out. I'm basically going to give it a 9 out of 10. Just really good. I can give it a 10 out of 10. Just a really damn good book. Yep. So yeah, that's it. Particular review. Next up, more Power Rangers. Okay, next video. Bye.